Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Frank Ochoa, aka Pivot Boss, with your Pivot Boss Pre-Market Report for May 10th, 2016. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. We continue to trade around that 2061 HVN here, and really, as I continue to mention, there's really not much edge in this area as price continues to trade back and forth around this HVN. I mean, this is value right here, and this is where we're chopping around. And anytime you're trading right at value, there's no real edge in the chart. What we're looking for are the edges of the range. So when price comes above value, we're looking to fade back to value, or when price comes down, fade it back up. And that's why we were looking for, reversals at the edge of the range early on. Now we're right at the middle. Not really much to do. So I'm going to continue to watch this very closely. I've continued to mention the uptrending market we have here short term. Prices below the previous month's close have been used as fuel to squeeze higher, and right now you can see a little bit of that playing out right now. But if prices can't maintain acceptance above 61s here, we could see a retest of lows, perhaps back toward 2026. That could offer an additional opportunity to squeeze back up across the range back toward 2100. But for now, we just got to sit and wait and see how it plays out. Here's an intraday time frame. The intraday does give us some great levels to trade by. We have the overnight low here at 848 quarter. We have the overnight high 69 quarter, midpoint 58.75. That gives you a great impulse range to develop some key levels off of. So watch the top, the bottom, the midpoint of that range, and then look for the inside 25% key levels in addition to the extension targets outside of it. Watch the boundaries. That should provide some great trading throughout the rest of the session. Taking a look at crude oil here, here's a daily time frame of crude oil. You can see prices basically failing to get any type of traction above the previous month's close, 45.92. That area right there being plainly defended by bears so far. I have talked about, again, very similar to the ES, that in an uptrending market here, all bears that come in below the previous close eventually get squeezed. And that's kind of what's happening here. So I still believe that we could see further strength ahead if these bears right here do not get paid. So I'm not of the opinion that we are headed much lower just yet. What I'm looking for is any signs of strength that comes in off of 42.60. That strength could be an opportunity to squeeze this thing to those 49s. Failure to hold 42.60 would be important and would suggest a rotation back toward 36.60 and 40.22. If we take a look at the intraday time frame here, basically you can see that we've had an overnight trading range that's developed a key range from 43.03 up to 43.94. Right now that's the range to watch. We're basically trading between 43s and 44s, and we could continue to see more of that type of behavior, especially as VWAP continues to remain flat at this time. So this would be a good time to bring up your standard deviation bands and look to play those bands. This is a one standard deviation trading range at the moment, and we could look to fade new highs, fade new lows, at least early in the day. All right, taking a look at gold futures. Here's a look at gold futures. We see that we've had a rejection on these highs. The bulls had a chance to take the ball and run with it, and they failed. They failed to get any push to those new highs, and that led to a retest back below at 1265 to 1267. Remember, 1265 is the top of our key range, very important level. 1267 also the midpoint of this impulse move. So a lot of confluence at this zone. So this is where bulls really want to defend big time. First shot at squeezing higher into those 1338s to 1341s. Failure to hold above 1260 here would suggest a rotation back to composite V pocket 1236.5. Right now, it's a tough call either way, but early on, the idea is that bulls want to defend these pullbacks for shots at new highs. Okay, so taking a look at the NQ here, you can see we've had a significant rejection off those highs. It's been punctuated by the recent low here, and now prices are testing or retesting the 43.55 level from below. That's very important right there. You see that prices have tried to push downward. They're retesting these areas. That could offer an opportunity for bears to squeeze, or rather to slam. But I think right now what's happening is that we could be over-rotated to the downside, and any bears that come in late here could be used as fuel to squeeze this back higher within the trading range. So we've put in a very nice punctuated high here. We've perhaps formed that low as well here. We could be looking at a midpoint reversal here that would set a nice key range to trade by. So right now, the early idea is that any bears here, if they can't get any traction below 43.55, watch that level for a potential squeeze back toward 4,500. On an intraday basis, looking at the NQ, what you'll notice here is an impulse range that is formed in overnight trading, very similar to the ES. The midpoint of that range is 43.44.5. The bottom is 23.75s, and then you have the top at 65s here. Watch that key range early on for trading ideas. Any failed range expansion beyond the top or the bottom could offer a nice reversal back within the range, so watch that closely. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.